I mean, not to her mom, but with her mom. I want to be married before I have children. I want to get to know my partner as a friend first before anything.
Imagine a brotherhood built on decades of hip-hop history, platinum records, and King of the South energy suddenly reduced to ashes over a single, devastating social media post. We aren't just talking about a minor disagreement or a subtweet. We are talking about 50 Cent, the undisputed heavyweight champion of online trolling, dropping a nuclear bomb on the Harris household. The atmosphere in the industry shifted instantly when the rumors began to circulate. 50 Cent, known for his take no prisoners approach, didn't just cross the line, he erased it. By allegedly making disparaging comments about Tiny Harris and leaking sensitive information regarding Deyjah Harris, the stakes moved from professional rivalry to a deeply personal war. For T.I., a man who prides himself on being the paterfamilias, the protector of his brand and his bloodline, this wasn't just an insult. It was a direct assault on his legacy. The internet came to a standstill as the accusations flew. Words like hooker and betrayal started trending, painting a chaotic picture of a friendship gone sour. But why now? And why involve the children? We've seen T.I. handle beef before, from the streets of Atlanta to the heights of the Billboard charts. But this time, the rubber band man looks different. The weight of the allegations regarding Deyjah's private life and the public disrespect toward Tiny has reportedly pushed Tip to a breaking point we've never witnessed. We are seeing a side of the King of the South that isn't about bravado or big words. It's about raw, unfiltered emotion. Is this the end of an era? Or is 50 Cent playing a game so dangerous that even he can't control the fallout? Buckle up, because we are diving deep into the wreckage of this viral explosion to see what's left of the Harris family's peace. To understand how we reached this point of no return, we have to look at the volatile chemistry between 50 Cent and T.I. For years, these two have existed as titans of the same era, monarchs of the mid-2000s rap scene who shared mutual respect, even if it was always seasoned with a bit of competitive edge. However, the culture of hip-hop has shifted from the recording booth to the comment section, and no one navigated that transition more ruthlessly than Curtis 50 Cent Jackson. Known as the ultimate international petty officer, 50 has a reputation for finding the weakest point in his opponent's armor and driving a stake through it. This time, that point wasn't T.I.'s discography or his business ventures. It was his family. The controversy ignited like a powder keg when reports surfaced that 50 Cent had allegedly obtained private information regarding Deyjah Harris. Now, the public knows that the relationship between T.I. and his daughter has been under a microscope ever since the infamous Hymengate incident years ago. T.I. has always been portrayed as an overprotective, almost authoritarian father figure. 50 Cent, sensing a vulnerability, reportedly began circulating rumors about a secret pregnancy involving Deyjah. By bringing a young woman's private medical and personal life into the digital coliseum, 50 didn't just start a rap beef. He violated the unspoken street code that families and children are off-limits. But 50 didn't stop there. In a move that sent shockwaves through the Atlanta social scene, he allegedly pivoted his vitriol toward Tamika, Tiny Harris. Using the term hooker wasn't just a random insult. It was a targeted attempt to devalue Tiny's status as the matriarch of the Harris empire. Tiny has spent decades in the spotlight, from her days in Escape to her role as a powerhouse entrepreneur. By attacking her character in such a derogatory manner, 50 Cent was effectively telling T.I. that he couldn't even protect the woman who stands by his side. It was a calculated psychological move designed to provoke a reaction, and it worked with devastating efficiency. The leaks weren't just about pregnancy or names. They were about control. 50 Cent understands the power of a narrative. By positioning himself as the one who knows the truth about what happens behind the closed doors of the Harris household, he stripped T.I. of his ability to curate his family's image. The internet, as it always does, took these crumbs and baked a cake of pure chaos. Speculation began to spiral. Fans were torn between being disgusted by 50's tactics and being morbidly curious about whether the rumors were true. Every time T.I. tried to ignore it, another post would appear, another meme would go viral, and another layer of the Harris family's privacy would be peeled away. For T.I., the pressure began to mount. We aren't just talking about a man who can't handle a joke. We are talking about Clifford Harris, a man who has built his entire identity around the concept of family first. Seeing his daughter's name dragged through the mud and his wife's reputation incinerated by a man he once called a peer was a different kind of pain. The bravado he usually displays in interviews began to crack. Sources close to the camp started reporting that the tension in the Harris home was at an all-time high. Deyjah, who has been vocal about her mental health struggles in the past, was reportedly devastated by the sudden influx of attention regarding her body and her choices. This wasn't just a troll move by 50 Cent. It was an assassination of character. 50's history with people like Ja Rule and Rick Ross showed us that he doesn't just want to win a debate, he wants to dismantle your life. By targeting the women in T.I.'s life, he hit the king of the South where it hurt the most. He knew that for a man like T.I., who views himself as a protector, the inability to stop the world from talking about his daughter's secrets or his wife's past would be a slow-burning torture. As the days went by, the silence from the Harris camp became deafening. Usually, Tiny is quick to defend her family on social media, but the sheer cruelty of the hooker comments seemed to have left even her momentarily stunned. The industry watched with bated breath, wondering if this would lead to a physical confrontation or a legal battle. But 50 Cent, ever the strategist, kept the pressure on, posting cryptic messages and deleted but not forgotten images that suggested he had even more dirt to reveal. The strategy was clear. 50 Cent wanted to provoke T.I. into a public meltdown. He wanted to strip away the intellectual persona T.I. has cultivated over the last decade and bring back the trouble man. He wanted to show the world that despite the suits and the big words, T.I. was still susceptible to the same gutter-level tactics that 50 used to conquer the streets of New York. And as the notifications on T.I.'s phone continued to blow up with news of his daughter's alleged pregnancy being discussed on every blog from Hollywood to Harlem, the mask finally began to slip. The stage was set for a confrontation unlike any other in hip-hop history. It wasn't about who had the better flow or the most money. It was about the sanctity of a man's home. 50 Cent had lit the fuse, and the explosion was about to be televised. The question wasn't if T.I. would respond, but whether he would survive the emotional fallout of having his family's most private vulnerabilities weaponized against him. To understand the sheer gravity of why 50 Cent's words carried such a destructive force, one must look at the specific architecture of his trolling. In the world of social media, 50 Cent doesn't just post. He hunts. When he directed his focus toward the Harris family, he wasn't looking for a lyrical battle or a debate about who has more hits. He was looking to dismantle the very foundation of T.I.'s pride. His role as the king of the South and the ultimate protector of his household. By weaponizing the term hooker against Tiny and leaking sensitive, unverified details regarding Deyjah's alleged pregnancy, 50 Cent initiated a campaign of character assassination that left the hip-hop community gasping for air. The history between T.I. and 50 Cent has always been a complex tapestry of mutual respect and underlying friction. Both emerged from the gritty realities of the streets to become corporate moguls. However, while T.I. transitioned into a role as a community leader and an intellectual spokesperson for the culture, 50 Cent remained the unapologetic disruptor. The tension boiled over when 50 Cent decided that no topic was off-limits. In the code of the streets, families, specifically wives and children, are supposed to be sanctuary zones. By shattering this unwritten rule, 50 Cent didn't just insult T.I. He declared that the rules of engagement had changed forever. The hooker allegation against Tiny Harris was particularly venomous. Tiny is a legend in her own right, a member of the iconic group Xscape and a woman who has navigated the industry for 3 decades. By using such a derogatory slur, 50 Cent attempted to rewrite her history, suggesting that her success and her position beside T.I. were built on something far less honorable than talent and business acumen. This wasn't a random jab. It was a calculated attempt to humiliate T.I. by proxy. In the hypermasculine world of rap, disrespecting a man's wife is the ultimate provocation. 50 Cent knew that T.I. could ignore a comment about his record sales, but he could never ignore a public branding of his wife as a hooker. Simultaneously, The leak regarding Deyjah Harris's alleged pregnancy added a layer of cruelty that many found unforgivable. Deyjah has grown up in the public eye, often struggling with the intense pressure of her father's protective and sometimes controversial parenting style. When rumors started circulating that 50 Cent had proof or was exposing a secret pregnancy, it hit a nerve that resonated across the internet. For a young woman who has been open about her struggles with anxiety and mental health, being used as a pawn in a billionaire's ego war was traumatic. The digital world became a courtroom where her body and her choices were being judged by millions of strangers, all because of a post by a man who had no business in her private life. As the rumors gained momentum, the flow of the narrative shifted from a celebrity feud to a family tragedy. T.I.'s reaction was not the typical tough guy response the public expected. Instead of a rapid-fire diss track or a physical confrontation, the world witnessed a slow-burning emotional erosion. The Grand Hustle CEO, usually so articulate and composed, began to show signs of a man who was drowning in the noise. He found himself in an impossible position. If he responded with violence, he risked his freedom. If he responded with words, he was playing into 50 Cent's game. And if he stayed silent, the world would assume the allegations were true. This psychological trap is 50 Cent's specialty. He understands that in the age of the attention economy, the truth is often less important than the volume of the lie. By flooding the timeline with memes, old photos, and cryptic captions, he ensured that T.I. could not escape the shadow of the scandal. Every time T.I. tried to promote a new project or speak on social issues, the comments were flooded with, "What about Tiny?" Or, "Is Deyjah pregnant?" The narrative had been hijacked. The king was being mocked in his own kingdom, and the psychological toll was becoming visible on his face during live streams and public appearances. Tiny Harris, for her part, was forced into a defensive crouch. She has survived industry shifts, legal battles, and marital ups and downs, but being labeled a hooker by a contemporary of her husband was a different kind of fire. It put her in a position where she had to defend her dignity while simultaneously trying to hold her family together as her husband spiraled. The internal dynamic of the Harris home reportedly became one of high alert. The trust that exists between peers in the industry was shattered. If 50 Cent, someone who had been in the same rooms and shared the same stages, could do this, who else was hiding secrets? The breakdown of T.I. began to manifest in his communication style. He started posting long, rambling philosophical videos that felt more like a cry for help than a lecture. His eyes looked heavy, his tone was somber, and the usual king of the South swagger was replaced by the weariness of a man who had been betrayed. He spoke about the evils of the industry and the lack of honor among men. But the subtext was clear. He was hurting. He was watching his daughter retreat from the world and his wife be insulted globally. And for the first time in his life, his power couldn't stop it. The brilliance and the darkness of 50 Cent's strategy was that he didn't need to be right. He just needed to be loud. By the time the dust began to settle on the initial shock, the damage was already deep in the marrow of the Harris family's public image. The hooker comment and the Deyjah pregnancy leak became permanent search terms associated with their names. This is the new reality of celebrity warfare. It's not about who has the last word, but who leaves the deepest scar. T.I. was no longer just fighting a rapper. He was fighting a digital ghost that he couldn't touch. This part of the journey shows us that even the most powerful figures in culture are vulnerable when the attack comes from the inside. The breakdown wasn't just about the words said. It was about the realization that in the modern era, your family is the ultimate target, and no amount of hustle can fully protect them from a predator with a smartphone and a grudge. When 50 Cent's trolling crossed into the territory of T.I.'s wife and daughter, the hip-hop community didn't just witness a rap beef. They saw the unraveling of a family's peace. This phase of the conflict is defined by what insiders are calling the Grand Hustle breakdown. For T.I., the kingly persona he spent 2 decades building, a mix of high-level vocabulary, community activism, and Southern royalty, began to fracture under the weight of 50 Cent's relentless digital assault. The man who once claimed to be unshakable was now appearing in live streams and interviews with a visible heaviness in his eyes. He wasn't just angry. He was emotionally exhausted. The breakdown wasn't a single event but a series of public moments where the rubber band man seemed to lose his grip on the narrative. During a viral live response, T.I. made a statement that resonated deeply with those who have followed his journey. "I'm here to defend, not defeat." It was a plea for respect that felt more like a white flag than a battle cry. He wasn't trying to out-troll the master of trolls. He was trying to remind the world that his wife, Tiny, and his daughter, Deyjah, are human beings. However, in the coliseum of social media, vulnerability is often mistaken for weakness. 50 Cent didn't back down. He doubled down, reportedly referencing T.I.'s past legal troubles and suggesting that the king was ducking smoke. As T.I. struggled to find the right words to protect his household, his sons decided they had seen enough. This is where the conflict took a dark and highly personal turn. King Harris, T.I.'s second youngest son, decided to engage in a way that even his father found uncomfortable. In a shocking display of crashing out, King took to social media to directly challenge 50 Cent. He didn't just use words, he weaponized 50's own tragic history. King released a diss track and appeared in a video wearing a shirt featuring a photo of 50 Cent's late mother. It was an eye for an eye tactic. 50 Cent attacked the matriarch of the Harris family, Tiny. So the Harris sons attacked the memory of 50's mother. The industry stood still. Even T.I. had to publicly address his son's actions, admitting that while he understood the raw emotion and the desire to protect Tiny, he didn't approve of dragging the deceased into the mud. This internal conflict between father and son added another layer to T.I.'s breakdown. He was now fighting a war on two fronts: an external battle with a relentless bully in New York, and an internal battle to keep his sons from destroying their own futures in the pursuit of revenge. While King was crashing out, Domani Harris, T.I.'s second oldest son, took a more surgical approach. He released a track titled Ms. Jackson, a clever play on 50 Cent's real name, Curtis Jackson, and the Outkast classic. Domani's approach was more meditative but equally lethal, questioning 50's legacy and his relationship with his own family. For T.I., seeing his sons step into the line of fire was bittersweet. It proved he had raised soldiers, but it also confirmed that 50 Cent had successfully baited the entire Harris bloodline into a gutter war. The emotional toll on Tiny Harris during this period cannot be overstated. As the hooker allegations continued to be peddled by 50 Cent's massive platform, Tiny found herself in a position where her past was being used to haunt her present. She eventually broke her silence with a message emphasizing that her children and her husband were her biggest flex. But the damage to her peace of mind was evident. The rumors about Deyjah's pregnancy, which remained unconfirmed but widely discussed, created a cloud of toxicity that seemed to follow the family everywhere. 50 Cent, sensing he had reached the meltdown he was looking for, took the disrespect to a professional level. He began teasing a project titled Surviving T.I. Tiny, a direct jab at the legal allegations the couple has faced in the past. As we stand in March 2026, the dust from the initial explosion is settling, but the fallout is far from over. What began as a simple challenge for a versus battle has evolved into one of the most toxic personal vendettas in hip-hop history. While T.I. chose the traditional path of the warrior, hitting the studio to drop tracks like What Bully and Let Em Know, 50 Cent has moved the goalposts entirely. He isn't interested in being a rapper anymore. He is a media mogul who understands that in 2026, you don't destroy an enemy with a verse. You destroy them with a documentary. The ultimate nuclear option was recently revealed when 50 Cent teased his latest project, Surviving T.I. Tiny. This isn't just a catchy title. It's a direct threat to revisit the 20-plus sexual assault allegations and legal battles the Harris family has faced since 2021. By comparing this project to his successful docuseries on Diddy, 50 Cent is sending a clear message. I don't need to rap against you when I can televise your downfall. He even went so far as to publicly advise T.I. to hire a crisis PR person, a move that was as cold as it was calculated. T.I.'s response in recent days has been one of weary resilience. Spotted in New York City just this week, Tip attempted to downplay the drama, claiming that the beef is last week's news and shifting the focus back to his music. specifically his upcoming final album, Kill the King. He stated, "I wasn't here to defeat, I was here to defend." It's a powerful sentiment, but it highlights the fundamental difference between the two titans. T.I. is fighting for his family's honor, while 50 Cent is fighting for the headlines. The involvement of the next generation, King and Domani Harris, showed that the family hustle is real, but it also showed the cost of these digital wars. When King Harris targeted 50 Cent's late mother, it proved that the trauma of these feuds trickles down, creating a cycle of bitterness that doesn't end when a post is deleted. 50 Cent has since wiped his Instagram of the most offensive posts, but the memory of him calling Tiny a hooker and leaking secrets about Deyjah remains etched into the internet's permanent record. So, what is the final lesson of this 2026 clash? It's a reminder that in the age of viral content, no one is untouchable, not even a king. T.I.'s emotional breakdown wasn't a sign of weakness. It was a sign of humanity in an industry that often feels machine-like. He stood up for his wife and his children, even when it meant getting his hands dirty in a way he clearly regretted. On the other side, 50 Cent has proven once again that he is the most dangerous man to cross. Not because he's the best rapper, but because he's the most relentless storyteller. This isn't just another celebrity beef. It's a cautionary tale about the high cost of fame and the fragility of a family's peace in the digital age. 50 Cent's scorched earth tactics have left a permanent mark on the Harris legacy, proving that in 2026, the most dangerous weapon isn't a diss track, it's a viral narrative. T.I.'s emotional breakdown serves as a raw reminder that even the king of the South is human when his wife and children are the targets. But now we want to hear from you. The internet is completely divided on this one, and the comment section is where the real debate happens. Drop a comment below and tell us, did 50 Cent cross an unforgivable line by involving T.I.'s daughter, Deyjah, and insulting Tiny?